there makers, it is Jo here from Minerva, and today I have a sew along for you. I'm making a pretty summer top which is called Salto, and this is from Maison Fauve Patterns. Maison Fauve are a French company, so you get a real French chic style to the pattern designs. And today this little top comes in two versions. You can have it with a button front or with a plain front. It's got armholes, a front neck facing and a back neck facing, a little bit of gathering for some bust room, and it's really beautiful. You can use poppers or buttons, you can put little snaps on. It's up to you. You can really switch up your own style. I'm wearing mine today as a matching set, so you could make it into a kind of jumpsuit set where you've got a little bit better access for going to the bathroom, but you can have it worn out. That's the full length of it. I haven't changed the length, or you could tuck it in. This one is made in a linen, but you could choose lots of different fabrics here. I've made a linen one just to check the fit, because quite often from here to here I get a little bit of armhole gaping, and once you make this top it's very difficult to go back and change that strap length because everything is sewn on around the armhole. So make sure you know your sizing, what you're going to cut out for your strap length, your body length and your bust fit. You can also layer up your salto with something a little warmer if you need that extra layer. A cardigan, the Maison Fauve pillar jacket, a denim jacket. It really is a really versatile top, and it's great for that little pop of colour, or if you've got a special print you just want to try out. Although I've made this in a linen fabric, which works really well, it's quite structured, but it matches my trousers. Today I'm going to use a viscose lawn. Now this is a much lighter fabric. This one is light, it's 100% viscose. It's got a matte finish, it's really fluid, so these gathers here will be really gentle and subtle. And this print is called Cherry Cascade from Kichi Bee Style. That's a collaboration with Minerva. If you think this fabric is going to be a little bit light for you, a little bit tricky to work with, then you can go and check our print on demand fabrics. You can have Cherry Cascade on lots of our different base cloths. This viscose lawn is 55 inches wide or 140 centimetres wide. It's got a little bit of give across the grain, so you might want to make sure that you cut your fabric with the straight grain going down and the stretch going across. That said, let's take a look at cutting out. The back is cut on the fold, and the front with the button placket is in two pieces with some markings here for gathering and making the button placket. You'll now have your arm pieces that creates the shoulder and the straps and the facing. And I've block fused a piece of this viscose lawn. It's a really light fabric. It's a little tricky to handle. You do need to take your time and have a little bit of care. And it's easier if I block fuse. I'll still need to observe the grain line, cut out my straps. I need an inner and an outer. And I'm also going to cut the neckline piece on the fold and also the front neck pieces, which I can fit on other parts of the fabric. Doesn't really waste very much more. It's easy to put your garment together at the end. I've done the back, the front and both straps. It's taken it from a really floppy fabric to a fabric that I can really get a crisp, accurate press on now. I've got the front, the back, the arms, inner and outer, and the straps inner and outer. It will really help everything to come together. Once you're all cut out, depending on what fabric you're choosing, you may choose to use that interfacing method or not. With this viscose, I didn't interface the straps. I didn't even interface these front and back band pieces because there was enough strength in the linen as it was. So really work with your fabric, whichever type of base cloth you have chosen. Okay, it's time to start sewing along, and one of my top tips before you start for this pattern is to use a very accurate seam allowance. In order for all of these pieces to fit and be top stitched, you need to have some accuracy. I'm using a seam gauge throughout so that I can make sure that I keep that 1 centimetre seam allowance. Maison Fauve patterns are French, as I said, so there is an English translation. And I can kind of generally work my way through the English translation, but sometimes there's some slight anomalies or something that's a little bit subjective. So I'll try and step in there where I can. Okay, let's start sewing. To start, we're going to press 1 centimetre over and add some interfacing for the button placket. Here's the one I haven't done. I'm using a prim edge tape. It's just a little bit easier to handle than cutting pieces of interfacing. I use it a lot. It's going to go under the fold and be pressed in place. Once you've done that, fold again to the wrong side. So take your placket and fold it to the wrong side to the first notch. Don't take it to this notch. This one is for gathering and the next one in is for the button band. It's a very small button band, so don't be fooled by taking it to the wrong notch. And there's also a notch at the bottom. Give this placket a crisp press. Top stitch down the fronts. I've used a sharps needle because I've got a light fabric here and I don't want any snags. And then you're going to add the gathering stitches between the notches. Here's the gathering notch here. This one was for the button band. And you're going to do that on the front and the back. Make your stitch length 4.5 or 5 and do 2 rows of gathering. Pull up the gathering threads. You can always adjust these afterwards because they need to match the neckline. So this is piece 3, so these are the front neckline pieces, and you're going to press up 1 centimetre and you need this to be very accurate. You're going to do the same on the back neckline piece. Press up 1 centimetre along the bottoms, the longest length, and put them right sides together. On the front neck pieces, you're going to sew along the front and across the top. You leave this bit open. This is for the armhole. Then I've added a little mark point here to pivot so that I can be really accurate, and then both of my fronts will match up and be the same length. Once you've sewn them, you can press out the points, and the seam allowance should be free at the bottom so you can tuck it back in, but you can put the blouse in between those 2 pieces. When you've made them all, lay them out to check you've got everything the right way round and your print the right way up. This one is just sewn across the top and those edges are absolutely level with the accurate 1 centimetre press. It's a good idea at this point now to mark the outer and the inner sides of these pieces. It will really help you later when we come to put the straps and the front neckline pieces and the back neckline pieces onto the bodice. Okay, so we're going to take the inner and the outer so we know which is which. So you put the outer right sides together with the front bodice. So I'm really going to be accurate matching up that front piece because I want that to be really nice and flush going into the button band. There's a notch to match up, the gathering one, and also match up the end. It's at this point now you can adjust your gathers to fit the length of your neckline. Pin this in place, and with the clear accurate press you've got a detailed line to follow with your sewing machine. Make sure your first stitch is really accurate and it goes right to the end so that your front neckline has a really nice straight edge. Press your seam allowances up so that they go inside the neckline piece. You can see I've got my inner here and my outer here. It's helping me get everything in the right place, and pin down your neckline facing. Do the same for the back, adjusting the gathers where necessary between the notches, and sew this in place. You can remove the gathering stitches, especially if they're below the stitch line, pin down and top stitch. Everything will be neatly attached. This is what it should look like so far. So you've got your front neck and your back neck pieces all top stitched and everything is enclosed. At this point it's a good idea to finish your side seams because at the top here the facing will sort of block that from being finished later on. Let's take a look at the complex sleeve and armhole facing, which is all one piece. There's some letter markings and you'll need them to be able to follow this diagram in the book. Without them, it's really, really difficult. So make sure you've marked on the outers and the inners so you know which side is which. And also make sure you put the letters on the notches. I've also put a little notch at the shoulder as well, just to help me orientate my pieces. So you're going to put the shoulders right sides together with each matching strap piece. Pin those, sew at 1 centimetre and press. Once they're pressed open, you'll have one set of outers, and then you're going to do the same to make a set of inners. Here's my set of inner armhole pieces, and here's my set of outer armhole pieces. Lay your pieces out and put them right sides together, and you can use the notches to help you get these in the right place. You should have the same letters matching up on each side. So here's D with D and F with F. Match up the raw edges and pin between the notches. So you're only going to sew this bit on the outer curve, but you need to make sure that the seam allowances are all flat because you don't want anything bulky on your shoulders. You can clip this fabric to help it curve, and you'll need to clip at the notch as well. That will free up the seam here and here. You can also clip out a little bit of the seam allowance there if you need to reduce bulk. I've clipped a little bit here on this outer curve just to help me move the fabric, and I've freed up that clip there and the clip here, and I'm copying the picture from the booklet, and now I can sew the inner sleeve and turn out. Once you turn them out, you'll have your inner and outer. I found it useful to put a row of stay stitching on the inner side of here so that I can use it to fold later on. You've got to fold some fabric exactly on the seam allowance around a curve, so that stitch line really helps as a guide. On my green one I didn't do it and it was really difficult, so it's a little top tip from me. It's time to put it onto the top. Okay, so you've got this clip here. That's where you match up the neckline band, but you're only going to pin it to the outer. Leave the inner side free. Match up the next notch with the lower part of the neckline. So this will follow along to this notch here, and then pin the rest of this sleeve. Match up the end and you'll have some fabric to ease in, which is why I've clipped it, because it's just made it a bit easier to manipulate around that curve, and sew these in place. This is how it will look when you fold it under. You need to do that on every armhole piece, and this is why the letters are so important, because this will make sure that you get the right one on the front and the right one on the back. Do the same on the other side. You've got a gap here for your shoulder, and match up your arm strap. This is what it should look like. You could try it on at this point as well, just to make sure that you've got everything in the right place. We just need to be careful how we sew this little clipped edge here. It needs to join in with the rest of the strap. Keep the clipped edge right lined up with the neckline, sew accurately, and sew right up close to the strap, so there isn't a gap at all, it doesn't drift from one side to the other. That will mean that you'll get a really clean sewing line here, right at the junction between the neckline and the strap. I've got my outer and my outer on the right side. Give everything a little press, and then we can put these side seams together. So with right sides together, you're going to match up the facing pieces first. So be accurate here, you want to join up the seam line. Join up the end of the underarm and keep the seam allowances pointing up, and pin here at the top of the bodice. Match up the side seam to the bottom You can see I've already pre-prepped my hem there by giving it a little pressed fold. I've unfurled it out so that I can sew right to the end. I'm going to pivot here and go through the facings too. You can tidy up any bulk of fabric in that area so that when you turn the facing, everything is nice and flush. There's a couple of things you can do here because you've got to turn under quite a sharp curve. So I'm going to add some more clips just to help the fabric release. In the pattern, it suggests putting an easing stitch through there, so you could pull it up if you wanted to, just to help that curve to roll under. Pin, tack and top stitch in place, and I do recommend tacking for that sharp curve because you want to make sure you're catching the fabric on both sides. Take your top stitching to the top of the neckline, and then you can fold up your hem. Press the seam open so that you've got a neat area at the joins for folding. I've pre-pressed this hem because I've got a really light fabric, so it's just a bit easier to control. I used a hot hemmer under the iron, just to help me to keep that accurate seam allowance on quite a floppy fabric. Pin the rest of your hem and sew from end to end. Depending on whether you chose the button front or the flat front, I'm going to show you how to put the buttons on. It does say to put 2 in that band at the top and then 1 on the rest, but it really will depend on the buttons that you've got. And really, it's your pattern. You can choose your own style here. So just make sure that everything looks really balanced. Once you've done the hem, you'll know that you can line up that bottom hemline point. And you can mark your buttonholes. You can either use the markings from the pattern or you can put them in the positions that you would like depending on your bust fit. I've used a button extender there. I love using that tool. You can put buttonholes. They need to be vertical. You won't get them that way around because the button band is very narrow. And at the top it suggests 2 buttons in this neckline piece. I've used poppers today. I had some really nice light pink ones that work really nicely with the fabric. Okay, here's the top. I absolutely love it. It's great tucked in, get a nice sort of blouse feel here. This is the full length of it without any length changes. That back arm side is really nice. It's flush. I did take 1 centimetre out of the shoulder seam here, which got the curve in the correct place around the armholes for me, and I absolutely love it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed that. It's a super pattern for a little bit of stash busting. Even if you've got a small amount of fabric, you can cut the front and the back and these front pieces here. You can always cut a flat colour for the back, a solid colour that's the facing inside. So you would only need to cut 1 pair of these straps and then you could cut the inside in something else. It really will depend on how much fabric you've got. You can use lots of different fabrics for this pattern. So you can use natural fibres, cottons, lawns, sateen. You can use something really luxurious like a silk or a crepe de chine for something that's a little bit more of an evening feel. You can also, as I've got it with a jumpsuit, you can also make the top to match your trousers. So maybe if you want something for evening, you can make the top in a satin or a charmeuse to get something a little bit more luxurious. I really like it in a viscose twill or a viscose lawn or 100% viscose fabric. They all have a really nice drape if you've got that viscose lyocell or tencel content. Everything from today's video is listed in the notes below. You just need to click on it and expand, and all the details are there. They'll take you through to our website. We would love to see you on our website. You can make a profile there for yourself, add some photographs, a description of anything you've been making. It doesn't have to be fabric from Minerva. It's a really inspirational sewing community to join in with. There's lots of great things to see. People making up different patterns in different fabrics. You can see the scale of prints. You can see different shapes on different body types. It really is an inspirational place to be. You can also join the craft club there where you will receive discounts and offers throughout the year. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.